Hello, welcome to my review of Flaine, a ski resort tucked away in the Haute-Savoie region of the French Alps, part of the Grand Massif ski area, which offers an impressive 267 kilometers of pistes. But for this trip and this review, I'm going to focus purely on Flaine itself. Getting there is much easier than you might think. You can just get the transfer from Geneva, save a bit of money. We decided to do it ourselves and figure out a different way there, which is actually not too bad. From Geneva Central Station, we got a train to Cluse and then a bus up to Flaine, which was actually not too bad. Not that expensive. If you're looking to save a bit of cash on expensive airport transfers, it's actually not too bad to get to. It's a nice resort actually. One thing Flaine is famous for is its brutalist architecture. It's a bit Marmite. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's unique and different looking to other resorts, which I appreciated. I like the James Bond style concrete brutalist bits and bobs. Personally, I quite liked it, and I found the buildings blended into the surroundings quite nicely. Yeah, so as a resort, Flaine generally has a reputation for being a solid all-rounder. There's kind of a bit of everything for everyone. It's got a nice mixture of things. It's got some nice greens, it's got some longer blues, it's got some steeper reds, and then there's a couple of blacks in there as well. I think it's a good place to start if you're learning, and also a handy place if you want to kind of test yourself a little bit, but then not end up being stuck on a ridiculously steep red or something. And also a big plus that we didn't realize is there's a small little bucket lift that goes from the main resort, which takes you up to the top of some of the blues and greens there, which is free. If you're learning and you don't want to shell out for a super expensive lift pass, if you want to get off the bunny slope, you can hop in this free lift, or it takes you up to kind of midway up one of the greens and blues, and you can get a good selection of runs actually without ever having to pay for an expensive pass. So it's actually quite a nice little bonus and saves a bit of money. If you're learning to snowboard or ski, I think there's no point in shelling out for a whole resort pass and then only being able to use one thing. So yeah. Anyway, the beginner slopes, the two at the bottom, and then the longer tree run, they were good places to start actually, and there was enough space where it didn't feel overly crowded. And I started on the green runs. Oh, my pronunciation is terrible, but those two runs, both kind of foresty, a bit flat, but then once you kind of get over the hill where it kind of joins up with some reds and blues, and then comes back into where the ski lift is. So it's got a decent bit of kind of cornering and steeper bits and turns where you can. And then there's two sections of the bunny slopes. It's not overly crowded, so the top section is slightly more steeper than the further away bunny slope, which I think was usually more where the kids' lessons were. So it meant that you weren't constantly fighting crowds in the learner slope, and it felt like you had enough space to actually find your feet, which was nice. The greens give you a good variety of terrain and turns to kind of give you confidence before moving on to some of the blues that the resort has to offer. Speaking of which, the blue runs were actually pretty fun. This was my first snowboarding trip and first time ever snowboarding, so as I said, I'd spent the first day learning on the greens, and then the second day and third day tried out some of the blues. So the first blue that I mainly was on was Melfisto, a longer one with some steep sections and kind of nice kind of tree run areas as you approach the town. Again, not too busy and fairly wide, so you weren't fighting the crowds too much, and also had a bit of a variety of stuff, so it wasn't too bad. I did knock myself out, which was unfortunate, but part of the game. Melfisto's good. I think it's a good starting point if you're stepping up from the greens to the blues. It had a good mixture of terrain and steepness to it, and you also got some good views at the top. So we saw some pretty cool cloud inversions from the top of the lift up there, which is pretty cool. I think it's the first time I've seen. Third day, I went and did serpentine and a bit of crystal. That was more of a sweeping kind of ridgeline, so you got a good view of Mont Blanc behind Flaine, I think. Yeah, kind of swept around the ridgeline, then back down into town. It was a bit of a different style, but it's kind of cool because all the runs feed back into the main town, which means you can kind of mix and match the piece that you're going on. So if you want to do a bit of reds and then feed back into blue and then back into red, so on. It's actually pretty well connected. It all takes you back into town where you can go back up top and do the same thing again. So it's not like a situation where if you take a wrong turn you get stuck and you go off into a different resort and then you have to get a taxi back. You can see where you're going, and you kind of know that you're generally going to end up in the right area, which was a nice thing to have. You get some awesome views. If you have some good weather, you get some really nice cloud inversions. It's not the highest resort, but it's like, I think around 2,400-ish meters, something like that. It's definitely some nice views, nice peaks around, and some decent snow conditions. So obviously I wasn't very good at that time, but there's definitely some off-piste stuff, and there's some nice there's a little terrain park, and if you're a more advanced rider, there's definitely some blacks and some reds that you can take on, and lots of off-piste areas where you can explore a little bit. Probably not the most advanced, but it has enough there where I think most people could enjoy. In terms of accommodation, we stayed at Hotel La Paz, which was pretty cool because it was a ski-in, ski-out experience. I think it's one of the few hotels which is on the piste, so it's pretty much right on the junction of one of the greens and one of the blues. It was really nice, actually. It was decent value for money, not overly expensive. I think the food was also nice quality, and also not kind of crazy breaking the bank given that you're staying right on the piste. Speaking of town, Flaine's not a huge town, but it's got some decent food and decent drinks, I'd say. Spot O is kind of a tapas style bar, pretty cool for apres-ski kind of stuff. Had a nice kind of local vibe to it. We had some drinks there one night, and then also Le Bistro F was also nice food as well. It's kind of more like it's kind of Western food, so it's some nice burgers, some nice steaks, that kind of thing. It was, in general, I think the food was decent. If you're looking to kind of eat in or eat out, I think there's some good options there, and some nice places to kind of sit out and enjoy the view. As I was learning, I did some lessons with the ESF guys, and they were also really good. It was really good value for money, and it definitely helped speed up my snowboarding progress. So yeah, shout out to Benjamin, who's an excellent teacher. But I'd recommend it if you want to kind of improve and learn and kind of get some good fundamentals down. Definitely it's worth checking out some of the ski schools there, because they're very helpful. Overall, what's the verdict? I mean, it's not the most extreme terrain, it's not the steepest, but it's definitely got an all-around complete package, I'd say. It's got good food options, there's quite a few places you can stay. It's all reasonably priced, so you're not going to break the bank. It's a nice family-friendly place, and the snow is pretty reliable, so you generally get quite good snow up there. Yeah, it's decent. It kind of caters to all levels, so there's green slopes for younger people or beginners, there's some blues, there's some reds. It's got a mixture of everything, so if you're looking for a nice chilled out resort which isn't overly busy when we went, I think when we went it was early January, and it wasn't too busy. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're interested in more content like this, I do kind of adventures and hiking and mountain biking, snowboarding and bodyboarding, so yeah. Feel free to sub. Any likes and comments are appreciated, and have a good one.